This is my beautiful friend, Chrissy Philp. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Excellent.
Explain, I went to a party last night, so I'm looking a bit tired today.
We're all looking tired. I just got back from Ireland last night, so we're all looking a bit tired. But that's okay. You're a brilliant astrologer. And you give from your heart, and it means so much.
Well, I'm just learning all the time.
Well, we all are.
Yeah.
Isn't it that you're always a student? I always say when you're an astrologer, you're forever a student because one lifetime isn't enough to know all that there is to know.
That's very true.
Yes.
We learn from each other.
Yes.
Keeps us humble, doesn't it?
Yes, it
Astrology.
does.
Good for humility. Well, Neptune has been in Aquarius, hasn't it? And we've had lots and lots of tsunamis and earthquakes since Neptune has been in Aquarius. Of course, we also know Uranus has been in mutual reception in Pisces. So they've been working together. And I think they've had more tsunamis and earthquakes than I ever remember in my life before, one after another.
And
The
floods.
big ones. And of course, yeah, and Uranus being involved. So we also did presentations on that, didn't we? I'm going to shut off this presentation because I just wanted Nadiya to see why I'm saying Neptune is the god of earthquakes, because he was for the past. But there was also another presentation we did, if I remember rightly, but I can't remember where it is. We have Chironic and Neptunian images. Which do you think is the most Chironic and which is the most Neptunian?
I think Chiron is on the cross.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Neptune is that. Yeah.
That's so Neptunian.
Because it is.
Yeah.
It's so like
Yeah.
open, love,
Yeah,
compassion,
lovely.
all encompassing.
That's
While
right.
the other is so Chiron.
Chironic pain, yeah. Christ on the cross. Beautiful, isn't it? And then we have the story of Prometheus, with the big eagle eating up his liver. Zeus was obliged to listen to his victims' cries of agony on a daily basis. Discomforted by the uproar, Zeus began to regret the harshness of his punishment, but he was unable to remove the bonds he had set up. Right? Prometheus means foresight, everybody. Chiron offered to give his own life in return for Prometheus' liberty. This delivered Zeus from his predicament, and the punishment was null. Thus Chiron served the interest of both Prometheus' foresight and Zeus' knowledge. He taught through the example of his compassionate voluntary extinction a difficult but uncompromising lesson, that life by its very nature incorporates pain and suffering, however unjust the pain and suffering might seem to be, and that personal death is essential if the aim is to ensure the continuing ecological development and health of an immortal living system.
You wrote this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is what taught me about Chiron, which I wrote it for them. So I used to write them one every week. And I did because I was doing the Chiron conjunct Neptune and the Uranus conjunct Jupiter here. And so we had to learn about each planet involved, and they didn't know about them. So here we are. Oh, I see, I'm being filmed here. So in honour of his sacrifice, Zeus put Chiron in the sky as the constellation Centaurus. This green equates Chiron with the scapegoat. Injury caused by something we don't understand makes us angry. Our anger demands an anklet. It provokes us to look for something, somebody, or some group on which to pin the blame. Chiron, I think Chiron is nature and ecology. I think Chiron, is ecology, and I've often said with Chiron that if you give me a jungle, and I'm very Virgo rising, and I've got this Venus in Pisces, and I don't like anything being hurt ever. So you've got my jungle, and I say to my jungle, you're not allowed to kill each other. And I don't want anything dirty either, because I'm Virgo. So I don't want any rotting here. I want a beautiful jungle that nobody hurts each other in. I'm going to have a dead jungle within a month. Because my jungle completely depends on the animals being allowed to eat each other and the trees being allowed to rot, and I've said they can't. And that's a fear of Chiron. And I think this program is called Nature Shock on television. It was an intriguing documentary examining freak occurrences in the natural world, whether it's animals behaving oddly or even the planet that perplexes. Each episode sees scientists studying baffling phenomena in a bid to understand what Mother Nature's really up to. The reasons behind incidents vary, but there's one conclusion that we always reach: the world isn't as predictable as we like to think. How about that for Uranus Chiron on television? Because we always see what's on television when these are on. This is what we do, we look at the chart at the moment. So Neptune moves into Pisces on the 4th of April next year. moves through Pisces at the same time as revolutionary Uranus moves through Aries, new birth. Some astrologers think it'll bring about the closure of the old age and the birth of the new. It's just something. Here we are. We are here in the ages, in the middle here. Babylon, Egypt, Persia, empire, power, tombs packed with possessions. By the way, this is how I thought the ages used to work, like sausages. But my husband said, that's a load of rubbish, he said, because he knows his history. He used to laugh at it. So I had to do a study to find out what was actually happening. And what I found was that when I looked at the age of Aries, Libra, I found all this Scorpio, Taurus stuff. But it was the age before. And I realised it wasn't working like sausages and cut off at the ears edges. It was working like tree rings. So that what you saw in the age of Aries, Libra was an evolved version of Taurus, Scorpio, where you're building big, big, big buildings and putting bodies in there with all their possessions, you know. But in fact, out of the age of Aries and Libra, we got democracy, competitive sports, the Olympic Games, reason, academia, civic beauty, Palladian architecture we still use, don't we, for our civic buildings. The goddess Athene decorating the law courts, holding the Libran scales of justice. There we are. And here we have Babylon on the outside with Taurus, Scorpio, Egypt and Persia, empire, power, tombs packed with possessions, large-scale construction projects, cities, trade. So that's the World Trade Organization and the War of Babylon in the female row. There's always a female row for every age, and it's always the opposite side. So for the age of Taurus, the female row is going to be Scorpio, so we have the War of Babylon. In the age of Aries, the female row is going to be Libra, so we have the goddess Athene. And the age of Pisces, where Christ is pinned to the cross, the female row is Virgo, so we have the Virgin Mary. It's always there, isn't it? It's such a pattern, and when you see it as tree rings, it really makes sense. And of course, out of the last age of Christianity, we have charity. We brought the Red Cross, and nursing and health, hospitals. They started in monasteries, didn't they? The Virgin Mary here, Gemini Sag. The schools called adubas were set up in temples to teach the new art. Gemini is connected with school and Sagittarius the priesthood. And what I also like, I don't know if I say it here, is that they've got cuneiform writing written by children, and they all call the teachers Big Brother. How about that for the third house, for Gemini? Yeah? The teacher's called Big Brother. Siblings. I like that. Prior to that, it was the age of Cancer, Capricorn. We're going way back here, but maybe Genesis has some relevance. We read about an autocratic god, Capricorn. Yes? Shalt not do this and thou shalt do that. We hear of much weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth. Teeth are ruled by Capricorn's ruler Saturn. Of course, the weeping and wailing is Cancer. Yeah? And the list of family relationships, who begat who, is suspiciously Cancerian. So the new age of Aquarius is in its birthing stage. It is the previous age, Pisces Virgo, that is mature today. We see it in spiritual, musical, Piscean festivals and Virgo and holistic health. We can see the Uranian New Age energy in the technology surrounding our pop groups and our love of space adventure. There is a great deal of anxiety over the state of our oceans brought about by our sophisticated civilization, and along with a general interest in individual spirituality, we have terrorists, religious Pisces rebels, Aquarius, fighting for a cause. So there you are, that's the new age coming in, isn't it? But what we're actually seeing is Pisces Virgo. We're not really seeing the underlying new age, apart from in the equipment all around the people singing on the stage. Mm-hmm. So, for the new age we have shock, and we have expansion here, and we have, for the old age, we have chaos, which is Neptune, and pain.
Thank you so much for being here for this episode of Nadiya Shah Productions. I am grateful and humbled by all the amazing friends and fans out there. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on my website, nadiyashah.com. Until we connect again, take care.